The next one is Shilajit, which we touched on last night, and a couple of you got some Shilajit. You got some. Okay. Did you get some?
Yeah, when I came.
Oh, you got some before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been taking it? Like 3 days?
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything?
Yeah, I have noticed more.
You don't have to lie.
I think so.
Yeah.
SIBO, but yeah, I do.
Okay. Like increased energy?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, cool. I mean, same with me. When I started taking Shilajit, I mean, I noticed it within 2 days. But now, having taken it, a medicinal dose of it for 3 weeks now, yeah, like I said last night, like I feel ridiculous. Just amazing energy levels, but calm and relaxed at the same time. And I noticed a difference in my workouts and my stamina. Not that I've ever had trouble sleeping, but it's like my head hits the pillow and I'm asleep, and I wake up when the alarm goes off, and I swear just 2 minutes went by. That kind of sleep, which is awesome. Tablespoon. Yeah, which if you took it in capsule form, it'd be at least 6 capsules, like 6 to 8 capsules. Yeah, that's why I like the powder form better. How's the taste for you?
The taste isn't too good.
Yeah, it kind of grows on you. I don't know. My dad's taking it, and he's.
I like it right away.
Oh, he's like. If you like coffee, it's kind of got that burnt taste to it a little bit. So if you like coffee, you'll probably like it. No. No. Okay. Well, I don't either, but I don't mind the Shilajit, and it'll kind of grow on you.
Is there anything you can mix it with that's good to mix it with other than water?
Coffee. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it a lot. I just mix it with my other herbs, kind of like some of those herbs I gave you, and I just drink it. I don't mind it at all. But like I said, at first it was like, woo, and now having taken it for a month straight, it's nothing. No big deal. So Shilajit, which I didn't talk about last night, in Hindu and in Sanskrit, actually means conqueror of mountains and destroyer of all weaknesses. And when I explain the benefits of it, you'll see why it's called that. It's hands down one of the most powerful things you can put in your body. Once Ayurvedic medicine, which is the oldest system of medicine coming out of India, older than Chinese medicine, they haven't known about it since the beginning. They found out about it in more recent times. But since they've discovered it, it has become the #1 herb used in Ayurvedic medicine. And we're talking about a system of medicine that uses thousands of different plants. And they use it in almost every formula. Because it just makes everything work better. And it's because of the high mineral content of it. And just like we kind of touched on last night, minerals are key to everything. You need minerals, you need enzymes, you need vitamins, you need all 3 of them, you need them all working synergistically together. But to me, the foundation, the most important part of that is minerals. That's what your body's mainly composed of, is minerals. That's what all your tissues and joints and muscles and ligaments and everything is composed of minerals. And people are real big into vitamins, and that's fine, but if you're taking a B complex and a C and a D and a K and all these vitamins and you're not putting any minerals in your body, you're not getting a lot of benefit. You always hear some people say vitamins work and some people don't. And it totally depends on the quality, depends on if you're getting minerals. So there's a whole combination of factors of why that is. So, a couple of the benefits of Shilajit and where it comes from is very unique. It's comes from a region where there's 6,500 to 7,000 plants growing, different species of plants growing in this one area. And some of the plants that grow in this area are only unique to this area of the entire world. So what happens is every year all these plants grow and they're prolific, and then in the winter they die, they decompose. Next spring rolls around, it starts to heat up, and by summertime it literally forms this thick, rich, black, like pitch almost. And I think that's one of the names of it. I'll put in there. But another word they, what did it say? I thought I put the different words in there that they call it. Oh, mineral pitch. Yeah, so they call it mineral pitch. In Russia, they know it as mumia. When I worked in Vegas, I had people come in the store and ask me if we had mumia. Same thing, Shilajit. So a little bit of the history of it. It was discovered by in Asia. The Chinese knew about it, the Russians knew about it, and when they found out about it, and they found out how unique and how powerful this stuff was, they, of course, kept it all for themselves and only gave it to the elite and the aristocratic and the government officials and the army so they could conquer other nations. And the Russians were nice enough to let it trickle down to their astronauts and to their Olympic athletes. That was about it. That was about it all the way up until the 1990s. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the decentralization of Russia, probably. But it got out, and now it's available around the world. And now us and other people are starting to realize the benefits of it. But it's one of the main reasons that the Russians dominated the Olympics in the 80s. And they were testing for steroids like every day. Because they're like, there's no way they can be winning all these medals if they're not on some kind of drug. So, and it was, all they were doing was herbs. Shilajit and a few different herbs. So, very powerful stuff. Excellent for diabetics, blood sugar. It keeps blood sugar from absorbing into the system. It is excellent for any type of infestation type of issue, like bacterial infections, viral infections, parasites. It's great for parasites. It is. Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the best things it works for is calcification, excess calcification. A lot of people in this country are still in the mindset, most of us are still in the mindset that we're getting osteoporosis because we're calcium deficient, which is a complete and total myth. The fact is that we're not calcium deficient. We don't get the right sources of calcium, and we don't absorb it properly, and our bodies are acidic. So what happens is we start popping a bunch of calcium pills, and the body has absolutely no idea what to do with it. So it just decides to store it places and cause arthritis and cause bone spurs and heel spurs and gallstones and kidney stones and degenerative brain conditions and eyesight loss and hearing loss and everything else that comes from excess calcium. Also clogging the veins and arteries. When they find clogged veins and arteries, they usually find calcium buildup. Because all this excess calcium is flowing through the bloodstream and the body doesn't know what to actually do with it. So
this is one that kind of tastes like coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to learn to.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things. I know. But it's really good for that. I mean, because it's such a common problem. Calcium, this free-range calcium floating through people's bodies, and stress and anxiety can do that. Our calcium should be in our bones and teeth. And it's not. The body's actually pulling it from our bones and teeth because of the acidity, because of the stress, because of all the sugar we eat. And so that's what's causing osteoporosis, not a calcium deficiency. I'm reading a really good book. If you want to read an awesome book, it's called Healthy at 100. I can't remember the name of the author, but I should have brought it in because I read this just amazing thing last night, and it was talking about this group of people that live in Peru. Which, we're talking about like the Sanchi Ichi, which comes from Peru. It's this group of people that live in Peru, and they all regularly live into their late 90s or 100s. They're completely healthy. They walk up and down hills and mountains and gardens and do everything they need to do. And they're just totally healthy. And they don't use walkers, they're not all hunched over, they don't need help getting places. And as far as, bone, breaking hips and things like that, like we assume all of our old people are doing, breaking hips and things like that from fragility of bones, it just doesn't exist there. Like they've never even heard of it. And they're such a long-lived, healthy people that all these doctors are coming in, testing them, checking their blood pressure and cholesterol, and trying to find out what they're eating, and checking their bones, and they just mind-boggled that these people are over 100 and have completely healthy bones, zero bone loss.
And where is that?
It's a group of people who live in Peru. It's called the Vilcabamba people.
Okay.
Yeah, and this book's really neat because it targets about 5 or 6 different cultures around the world and talks about how they live and their lifestyle. I think you're right. Have you read the book?
Yeah.
They also talk about the Hunza people in the Himalayas, which a lot of people have heard of. It talks about the people that live in the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. Do you remember any of the other ones? Yeah, the Japanese. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm about halfway through, but it's just phenomenal. Just learning how these people live and that all these degenerative conditions that we get just don't exist in our culture. So back to Shilajit. A couple other things that's really amazing about Shilajit is its high concentration of humic acid and fulvic acid. Probably never heard of those. either, but they're very, very powerful. Humic acid is a very powerful antiviral substance. There's actually a product on the market called Viracillin. A little bottle about this big costs $120. And people take it that have severe viral issues, people that have Hep C, people that have AIDS, things like this, because it's such a powerful antiviral. Well, all this pill consists of is humic acid. And this Shilajit is loaded with it, absolutely loaded with humic acid. The other thing it has is a high amount of is fulvic acid. Fulvic acid is usually found from volcanic activity, and they found it to be the single best thing on the planet for chelating and pulling heavy metals out of the body. You got mercury toxicity, aluminum, lead, all these kind of things, which we all do because of the environment we live in. You know, tin cans and pop bottles and plastic and whatever else, smog. We're bombarded with these heavy metals all the time. So this is just essentially a food you can eat. That's going to continue to work to pull those things out of the body, but at the same time mineralize the body and build a foundation for health. Whenever I work with people, like on a long-term basis, it's always about building a foundation for health. They're not going after symptomatically necessarily what's going on, but putting the foundation of health inside your body so that the body naturally reestablishes balance. It naturally corrects whatever that problem was. So Shilajit is just a great thing for that. Now there's other great things you can take for minerals. There's sea vegetables and seaweeds and kelps and sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, and all those kind of things. But Shilajit's by far the most powerful thing I've ever seen, and just the results I've seen through talking to people, experiencing it myself. I'm excited about it.
When you say you take a tablespoon a day, how many do you divide that into two, or what? Do you usually do it all at
I
once?
don't. I'll take. I always take it in the morning when I work out. Sometimes if I feel like I need a pick-me-up in the middle of the day, I'll just throw it in like a cup of hot tea, like in the middle of the day, just a little bit, just to kind of give me a whoop,
But you usually do a tablespoon in the morning.
I usually do a tablespoon in the morning because that's when I work out, and I like the benefits, the mineral benefits of it from exercise.
So are you putting it in a tea in the morning, or?
I just put it in a glass of water and stir it up and drink it. But I put it with my other herbs, my astragalus, which I think we talked about, astragalus and chemopurians and tribulus, which we're going to talk about, and just some other herbs that I'm doing right now just because I'm working out a lot. I'm trying to build muscle, increase stamina, things like that. That's why I'm taking those herbs right now. But the Shilajit, so the other herbs you take might be different, based on what you want or what you're trying to accomplish. But the Shilajit is a foundation because of the minerals. It'll increase your energy levels. It'll help you from cramping, muscle spasms, if you have pain, if you need to heal from any type of injury, you need minerals to do that. So, yeah, Shilajit gets